Hello everyone, this is Miss Chelsea and today we'll be looking at word problems involving square and cube roots. By the end of this lesson you will be able to set up equations to represent word problems involving exponents and roots. So, full disclosure ahead of time, we will use 3 different methods to solve 3 different word problems. When you go to practice with word problems, you may choose the method that you prefer, even if it's not one of these 3. Let's go ahead and get started with example 1. A square table has a surface area of 144 square feet. How long is one of its sides? Now, we're going to solve this problem using the cubes method. First of all, C stands for circle, as in circle important numbers and their labels, aka units. In this particular example, we need to circle 144 square feet. Now the U stands for underline, as in underline the question. In this problem, the question is, how long is one of its sides? That means we will be looking for the side length. Now B stands for box, as in box operation clues. Now just so you know, squares and area can both refer to either squares or square roots. Now E stands for examine, as in examine the question. First of all, what are we starting with? What are we given? We are given 144 square feet, which is an area. What are we looking for, as in where are we trying to go? Well, we need to get the length because we want to know how long is one of its sides. Now, last question in examine, how are we going to get there? I just so happen to know the area of a square equals the side length squared. This equation relates both quantities, so we are good to go. Now the last letter S stands for solve, as in solve the equation step by step. We know that the area is 144, so 144 is equal to the side length squared. Now in order to solve for the variable S, the side length, we need to get rid of that squared by taking the square root of both sides. Since the square root of 144 is 12, the side length is equal to 12. Now, why did I not include negative 12? Well, that's simple. It doesn't make sense in the problem. How in the world are you going to have a negative length? You don't, so we ignore the negative. Now, let's try a more visual approach to problem solving. Example 2 says a cubic box has a volume of 125 cubic centimeters of water. We want to know how tall is the box. Our first step will be to read the problem and draw a model of the situation. In this case, we want to draw a cube with a volume of 125 centimeters cubed. Now, we are not given the side length of the box. We want to know the side length, so let's make sure we mark our sides with a variable, such as S or X. Next up, you want to write an answer statement. This needs to be a complete sentence with a blank to fill in the numerical answer once you get it. My statement will be, the box is blank centimeters tall. Now, if you want to know why I chose centimeters, that's because the volume is in centimeters cubed. So each dimension has to be measured in centimeters. Next up, we are going to solve the problem step by step. We know that the volume of a cube is equal to the side length cubed. By plugging in what we know, 125 equals x cubed. Hey, wait a minute. We don't want a cube on our x, we just want x by itself. So let's get rid of that cube by doing the inverse, which is taking the cube root. Now the cube root of x cubed is just x, and the cube root of 125 is 5 because 5 cubed is 25. Hey look, I guess we found our solution. X equals 5. Now let's plug that final answer into our answer statement. And we now have that the box is 5 centimeters tall. Let's go ahead and try example 3 with a different method, the plan, solve, check method. So, a room was carpeted. It took 81 square feet to complete the task. How long is the room if all dimensions are the same? First up, let's try planning. Let's ask ourselves 3 simple questions. First off, what do I know? Well, we know that it took 81 square feet to complete the task, aka the room has an area of 81 square feet. Next, What do I need to find? Well, the question is, how long is the room if all dimensions are the same? So we need to find the length of one side. And how will I solve? Well, if all dimensions are the same, that means we have a square. We can use the formula for area of a square to solve for the side length. Next up, let's actually solve this problem. First things first, how can I show my thinking? Well, since we said the room has to be a square, let's draw a square. The area will be 81 square feet, and each of the side lengths will be something like x. You know, just a normal variable. Now, using the formula for area of a square, area equals side length squared, we can plug in what we know, and we get 81 is equal to x squared. Now, to solve this equation, we need to get the variable x by itself. So, to get rid of that square, we are going to take the square root of both sides. The square root of x squared becomes x, and the square root of 81 becomes 9. Once again, having a negative answer would not make sense, so the only possible solution is a positive 9, or 9 feet as the side length. Next up, we need to think, is there another way to solve this problem? Actually, there is, because in a normal room, you have a rectangle, so area equals length times width. But it said the dimensions are the same, so the length and width are the same, and you would just do the same thing we just did from there. Either way, the room is 9 feet long. Lastly, let's check our answers. First of all, how do we check our work? Well, I think we should plug our answer into the original equation we wrote and see if the equation is still true. So, 81 equals side length squared. Does 81 equal 9 squared? Well, yes it does. So, our answer checks out. We are good to go. Next up, does my answer make sense? Well, yes. We chose the positive root as our answer because that's what distance is. Distance is a positive number. Also, the area should be bigger than the side length, and it is, so we are good. Now you're ready to try some problems on your own. Ciao!